Hey blog buddies! Are you beginning to notice that I'm wearing the same outfit in all of these videos? That's because I planned a few and did them all in one day. See? I'm always thinking ahead. I actually learned that trick on the Arian because I didn't have regular internet service. So I had to kind of plan a week's worth of articles ahead, and I'm trying to stay in that habit because it's really, really good. I keep a diary now with all of my ideas for articles in there, and it's made it a lot easier because now I can just sit down and write. If I need an article, I just open it up and get my ideas book out. Whereas I used to always write just off the top of my head each day, and if I had writer's block, it meant that the blog kind of just grinded to a halt because I couldn't think of anything to write about. And then the more you try and force it, the less it flows, and you just kind of struggle. Anyway, enough of that. I wanted to talk to you about something funny that happened while I was on Arian, and something that I think is worth sharing because I had to learn how to use the toilet again. It was a really interesting experience, and it was. Oh, sorry, that's my R2D2 going off. It was funny because I didn't realize at the time what I'd said, but we were. The toilet on Arian was this. It was in the cabin, and it was like a normal toilet, like it flushed and all that kind of thing. But because it was below the waterline of the boat, there were all kinds of valves and things like that to stop all the water from flowing back into the boat, which you can imagine is not good, especially when it's coming from the toilet. So we had to, or Graham, the skipper, had to teach me how to, turn on the toilet and all that kind of stuff, because I got so kind of sick of having to ask him every time I wanted to go to the toilet to do it for me. And it was something that I felt really uncomfortable doing because, firstly, I didn't want to mess it up. And secondly, because going to the toilet is something that we kind of take for granted. We learn how to do it when we're a kid, and we just go and we do it, and toilets wherever we go are fairly much the same, and you don't really have to think about it. So something as basic and as personal to your independence as going to the toilet is really, when you lose that, it's quite confronting. Anyway, I always got nervous about using this toilet because you had to open up the back of the boat where the engine was and open these valves, and then when you and then you would do your thing. So there are two valves that you had to open, and they were right at the back, and I always worried that I was going to open the wrong valve or something like that, so I was really careful about doing it. And the first couple of times I didn't get it right, and we had a couple of issues with like really unpleasant things happening with the toilet and that kind of stuff. And it was getting frustrating. Anyway, I finally got it right, and I was so excited that the skipper was sitting in the cockpit. No, he wasn't. He was away from the boat while I was doing it, and I finally figured out how to use the toilet properly and do it. And I was so proud of myself. The first thing I did when he got back to the boat was I poked my head up and I said, "I learned how to use the toilet." To me, it was really funny because I had to. I felt like a little kid again. Like I felt like I was, 3 years old or 4 years old with my little potty, and I'd finally figured out how to do it. Anyway, it kind of was funny because it made me think about, all of the really basic kind of things that I had to relearn living on Arian. I had to relearn how to use the toilet. I had to relearn how to ration food and things like that. I couldn't just go down to the shops whenever I needed to. I had to relearn, what clothes I needed. I couldn't just go and grab anything out of the wardrobe. I had to be really careful about what I was wearing to make sure that things were dry and I had enough clothing to get through the week and that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's my learning to use the toilet again story. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back again soon. Bye.